Hello, in this video, we are going to look at some more specific applications of remote point. How can we add a remote point, modify remote point, and how can we use a remote point? So you will understand that the remote point definition is also very clear and it's going to be very much useful for you when you go in your simulations and define some name selections based on some remote point, define some boundary conditions using remote point. So it becomes very much convenient for you during modeling. So let's start with it. So first we'll look at some remote point uses and where can we apply the remote points. So we can include remote points on vertex. We can include them on some edge centers, virtual intersection of edges or some intersection of edges. So if there are multiple edges which are intersecting or two edges which are intersecting like this, then there can be a remote point when we select two edges which are intersecting. If they are not intersecting physically, but if they are non-skew, that they are going to meet at some point, that then virtual intersection point can also be used or directly taken into count when we select multiple edges and make a remote point at the virtual intersection. Then we can have a face center where the remote point can be made. We can specify the coordinates of the remote point where we want to make the remote point. We can even select nodes where we want to apply a remote point. So let's look at how can we get the remote point. So the remote point is specifically available at only one location, that is under model. So if you go to model, the remote point option is unfrozen right now and you can apply a remote point from there. Another way is on the model in the outline or tree, right click on the model and there is an option to insert. In the insert, you have an option to find and insert a remote point. So if I click remote point from there, it will ask me to select some geometry and the scoping method. So in the scoping method, I have name selection, remote points and nodes, freestanding, etc. So these are the different ways I can select the remote point. If I have some predefined name selections, I can make a remote point from that name selection. So if I have some face and let's say I have some face which is named as face 1 and the remote point will be made at the center of that face 1, then based on the geometry selection, I can select a face, a vertex, or an edge. So whatever options which we have are available over here. From the geometry selection, we can see that the body has not been selected or it cannot be selected. It has been frozen. So that means we can select a face, an edge, a vertex, or nodes. So if my mesh is ready, I can also select a node from there. So that can also be assigned as a remote point. Then there are other options with like if I have predefined some remote points earlier, I can use the reference of those predefined remote points to add another new remote point, etc. So let's go to geometry selection and let me select the top face. So this is specifically helpful. So let me just don't show the mesh. So it is easy and rendering is easier for the software. So this means that this face has been selected and a remote point will be generated at the center of the face. This will be specifically helpful if you want to apply a force at the center of the face. That will be very much similar to a pressure applied. If we select a face and directly apply a force, it will not be selected at the center of the face. So this is very much helpful when we want to apply the force exactly at the center of the face. Now I can see that the remote point has been generated. Another way I specified was using some edges. So I can, in the geometry, I can select an edge like this edge. This is one of the edge which is selected, which is in cyan color. If I click on that and apply, then this is the edge and the remote point has been selected and generated over there. Then another ways were intersection of edges. So if I click on it and control select multiple edges, and two edges were selected and the intersection point will be the remote point for me. Then let's go to specific coordinates. So if I insert a remote point, I have specific coordinates which are available to me. I can apply 10, 10 into 10. So a coordinate, as per this coordinate, the remote point will be generated. So based on this edge, the end point of the edge and the offset from the coordinate system which is specified over here, I can make a remote point. So if I had selected another face, let's select this face, the coordinate point will be shifted. So this is the new coordinate point. So how is this generated? This is generated because of the top edge or the face, the center of that face, and the offset from that face is 0. If I make the offset from x coordinate as 10, it has offset from the x coordinate in the x direction, in the positive x direction by 10 mm. So that is useful. And approximately you can verify that this was the center of my face and approximately it has moved by 10 mm. So these are the two ways we can, multiple ways we can make a remote point. Now moving to the next thing, where are the remote points used? So they can be used to apply remote boundary conditions such as applying a remote force, apply remote pressure, apply remote moment. So let's look at that. So when we go to static structural, there is an option to insert a remote force. So let's apply a remote force. And over here, we'll get an option to use a remote point as a scoping method. So another use of the remote point is using the remote point as a scoping method, or use that remote point as a reference to do something next. So we have used that remote point to apply the force. The remote point is named as remote point 2 maybe. So the force will be applied at that point, and the magnitude or other things will be specified as per our need. So we can use a vector, we can use components. So the vector, let's show the vector. So vector has been defined. In which direction I can change the direction. So since for the remote point 2, I had used this cylindrical face to define the remote point. It has automatically applied the direction along the axial direction. I can change that direction also. So the opposite direction can also be selected. I cannot select some random direction because the remote point has been defined specifically using that cylindrical surface. So using that cylindrical surface, only one direction remains, which has unambiguous result. That is the axial direction. In the radial direction, I have 360 degrees, and I can have all that 360 degrees in which my remote force can apply. So that is not a very good definition for my force. So that's how I am left with only one, or the axial direction. That are the two directions. Then there are other options also. There is remote displacement available to me. So such different options are available for us. We can also apply remote moment. So moment can also be applied at remote force, a remote point, and I can select that remote point to apply the remote moment. So these are the different uses of remote points. So I have explained that the uses, the remote boundary conditions, and using the remote points as a scoping method. So we'll end over here. Just for your reference, we have an option to visit this website. On this website, all the more details of remote points are available for you. So we'll stop over here. Thank you.